Welcome back to the channel. All right, I finished up 8.4, did the big opening. It was phenomenal, amazing. I was not exaggerating or anything like that. We did that, but now it is time to use these rank up resources, those juicy rank up resources. I did the Women of Power, my first 5 rank 3 7-star champions, a lot of things to make sure I get right in there, but it's time to rank up the 6. And I did say at the end of that one, are we going to continue with the women? I don't know. So today in this video, what we're going to do is we're going to go over a new rank 5 6-star champion who I'm very excited about. I will talk about them. We're going to rank 5 and ascend a 6-star champion. We're going to take the first ever 6-star relic to rank 3. We're going to talk about that relic. I think you're going to be very surprised at what it actually does and how meaningful. I mean, this is one of those, like, it does a significant amount for this champion who's already phenomenal. And then I will take a rank 3 champion, a champion 2 rank 3, and then I will show you gameplay on all of them except for just that one single rank 5, and I'll explain why we do that. I will show some of the rank up process, but that's just going to be to give us to talk about it. And then, like I said, there'll be gameplay at the end. Let's go ahead and go over this. I think these are all phenomenal options. Let's go ahead and get to it. So the first one we're going to do is a basic 6-star up to rank 5, right? We got those 4 or 5 gems. As you can see, I went over to the Cosmic class, and I think this one's going to surprise a lot of you, except for some really long-time viewers. Really pay attention, watch a lot of the videos. One, you know I do like Nova. DLL has liked Nova for years. So if you were paying attention back when he and I were streaming every day in the summer, things like that, you know that he was definitely a fan and I was becoming a fan. And then I think Battlegrounds has really given Nova a great place to really shine with those non-contact mediums, a tricky defender if you don't have the right matchup. And I'm going to show this in some other videos that are going to come out this week. Those non-contact mediums are making a bigger and bigger deal with some of the defenders that Kabama's putting forth. This guy can go unblockable. He can have a true strike. He can actually get up some reasonable damage. I'm not going to send him now because one, I don't have the Ascension Dust. I'm going to use it on another champion. And two, he is going to be a tactic defender in the next Battlegrounds meta in the Gladiator circuit. So I'm looking forward to that. You can see I added about 305 Ascension Dust. I really do like him. I'm looking forward to learning to use him better and play him more, but it makes a ton of sense. We've had him highly rated in my Battlegrounds tier list. You know, I've been shouting out Trappy for quite a while now. Trappy is a big fan too, so there you go. Now, let's get to the champion. 4 months ago, I think it actually may be 5, because I think it was potentially in December, the buff on Red Guardian went live on the CCP server, and I made the video and I was like, we have got a spicy buff on our hands. So darn good. I said, gonna be good in war, gonna be good in Battlegrounds, potentially great in Battlegrounds. And I'm gonna talk about this a little bit right here, and I am going to get out a Red Guardian video too, because I've already been using it in Battlegrounds. I do think there's some debate, and I'm going to show you this in this next video. If you're like, I want to know now, I will link in the description the Red Guardian video. You can go. They did nerf his long form, but his short form got even better. And I think it's short and medium form, okay? So where you're going to be using him in the vast majority of your playing this game, he got even better than the buff. So I will link that so you can go check it out. The one thing that's a little bit, it's not controversial. I think it's just going to come down to what you want. There's going to be ways to do this. I didn't show that in the video, but there is a play style, right? Grass has been showing it, Nagase has been showing it, and I believe probably Mike showed it too, where you can just immediately force or hold heavy until the defender throws their heavy. You will stun them. You'll get up some extra damage, that sort of thing. And then by the time you get to your SP2, there's a good chance that your shield has come back and and your SP2 is going to hit like a truck. The problem is, and I will show this in my Red Guardian video that I'm going to put out this week, what if the defender doesn't want to throw their heavy? In that case, you're just sitting there taking damage into your block in Battlegrounds. That's not really what you're wanting to do. He's fantastic. Really excited to show you the gameplay on that. Now, relics. Like, you know I like relics. I know so many of you have been asking me to make the guides. And I keep saying, like, hey, I'm going to stream it one day. We'll go over all the relics. That will eventually happen. Stuff always comes up. But here, we're going to do a bit of a deep dive look on why did I take this one, right? This is the first one you can take to rank 3. The materials hadn't been available. Well, one, this relic really is helpful. It enhances one of my favorite champions, one of my favorite characters in the world in Marvel. And also, I had them at like the highest when you think about relics, like SIG level, right? Like, does it say what I have it at here? Yeah, I have it at 100. I just keep pulling it for some reason. Now, we'll go over what it is. You can see I'm using the rank up gem, right? Like I don't have the materials to do it. I'm using the 2-3, and America Chavez is phenomenal without this, right? Like if you're looking into this for America Chavez novice, she's phenomenal without this. She is great unawakened. But here's what I want to show you, right? Is the first hit inflicts a 9-second ineptitude passive, reducing the potency of new fury, armor, precision, and cruelty buffs. That's really nice, right? But she can already do a lot of that, and that's not a significant. I mean, 27.25 is actually a relatively significant number. I don't know why I said that. That's actually pretty significant, but she's already doing a lot, right? That alone wouldn't be it, but that's just the start. That's just like the appetizer. Now look at this kind of awakened ability, the innate ability here, Burning Palm Strike. Landing the first hit of a heavy deals 971.68 energy damage. Like, oh, that's pretty cool. Like, that's nice. She throws heavies a lot. Well, hashtag offensive burst, which America Chavez happens to be, trigger this an additional time for each buff on the opponent. I will show you what this looks like. Plus, wait, there's more. As you can see in the slots, the Brooklyn Headbutt. Opponents getting a buff grants a dormant fury passive, max of 8 stacks. These dormant furies activate for 4 seconds when charging a, wait for it, heavy attack, increasing attack rating by 52.75. Offensive burst, we went over this. Champions gave 250% potency for fury passives from this relic. I'll give you an example of what this looks like. And remember, that's just one slot. Slot 2, 299.7 attack rating on heavy hits. Think about all of the compounding things that are happening on heavy hits for a champion whose heavy is incredibly important to their kit. Okay, and then the last slot, I think is the least exciting. There's a plus 152.47 block proficiency. I do find myself wanting to parry stun quite a bit with her, or just block. So I think this was nice. The other option, the other slot, is to further reduce, I think was the potency of opponent's buff. She's already doing so much of that. And, but if that's what you really want to do, I know people like to do that with like the Furies. I obviously enjoy doing it with opponent's power gains. It can be nice with the Pierce buff off of Hulkling and things like that. But I think you're seeing how great this relic is for her. She is one of the named targets for the relic. And this is just absolutely phenomenal for her. You could also use this for Absorbing Man because of the heavy and all the benefits he gets from throwing his heavy. These are just the things to consider. But for me, I have a rank 3 Chavez. She's my favorite champion to use. I love playing her. I love the character. I use her all over the place in battlegrounds, questing, war. This just absolutely made sense. And then the fact that I have it, the ability at 100, which is good for prestige too, just kind of played into it. But as you can see, that's a really nice benefit. And then it's time for the big one, the new rank 3. I did pull a science. It's a phenomenal opening. I suggest you watch it. I was really debating between Hulk, Spider-Ham, and Titania. I checked in with so many people, my whole Discord server, my alliance, and 4BGs there. So many smart Battlegrounds players checking. I went to Pepe's stream. And, everyone provided phenomenal reasons for so many of those champions, even some other champions that I hadn't mentioned. And they're all worthy. They're all worthy, right? You see that on my tier list. So many places, right? Battlegrounds is my focus now that I have at least temporarily retired from tier 1 war. I love Spider-Ham. I love playing Spider-Ham. I have for years. I've done videos on Spider-Ham. But I don't know. A lot of people convinced me that he didn't really need it. And that also that there so often were, not so often, but that sometimes, like we're splitting hairs between some of the best champions in the game here, okay? That there were debuffs not able to work or things like that. He's a good defender and that he would be great at R2 anyways, which he has been. Titania is great. So often though, you're going to your SP3 anyways, and it's not like 6 stars, right? 7 stars have the same combat power rate. So it's not like taking her up would help me get to the SP3 faster. I definitely do eventually want a rank 3 Titania, don't get me wrong, but when I'm trying to min-max this out, I'm just trying to optimize this. So much made sense about Hulk. I also have him at a stupidly high sig, given that I don't even have a Juggernaut. I think he's at sig 80. So he actually can do some things on defense. In fact, I'll show you the screenshot right now of him already on defense, paying massive, massive dividends. And then I've been using him on offense. And as I've talked about, there's more to him than there appears. He is the brawler, and he definitely does have the stun lock off the SP1, right? And I showed that day one of his buff. I think we went to the SP3, then the SP2, then the SP1, and just beat the heck out of the, what's it called? The Gauntlet Doom, things like that. We did the Essentials video on him. But there's also these other tactics, right? With the SP2, getting I think it's the trauma debuff, getting the physical vulnerability with your gamma rage, those sorts of things, and just measuring what's possible. What do I actually need to do? What is the defender throwing at me? So he's a brawler, but he's a bit of a smart brawler, and I really, really love him. And all right, let's go ahead and jump into this. Decided to just go to Realm of Legends. I think it's a nice place to kind of just show like some really cool stuff right away. Like I said, the full showcases will be coming out later this week. But here we are with Hulk, right? We're just going to be landing our basic attacks, getting our Furies up, waiting for the Gamma Rage to trigger. And I will show you in the showcase, there's times where you want to trigger it manually. There's other times where like we're getting some nice RNG here. We're already up to 10. I'm going to go straight to my SP2, which will land the trauma debuffs, right? And then we're going to get really nice timing. Look at that. 94,000, and then plus the additional, this is from the physical vulnerability. Also, we had gone into our Gamma Rage, right? 74,300, so like about 76,000 on top of the 94. That is significant numbers, right? Like most things that you're fighting are now dead, but we are in Realm of Legends. It's also with class disadvantage. Keep that in mind. Gonna go in and we should throw our striker here. That's right. And then we're just gonna do the really, really fun, really, really cool Hulk stun lock. I love this guy, right? We talked about this when I was talking about ranking him up, the stun lock, the whole thing. Day one of his buff, I just couldn't stop playing this guy. So much fun. And then, you know, he's a brute, he's a brawler, but there actually is some strategy to him. You can particularly see that in like war fights or your more complex questing. And of course, in Battlegrounds 2, 39 seconds, class disadvantage, Winter Soldier, gone. Just absolutely gone. Now, I want to show you the relic on America Chavez. Don't worry, we won't watch this whole fight, but I just want to show you. Now, keep in mind, this is with 0 buffs. Remember, a lot of that compounding was from when there is at least a buff on the champion. So this is really just like, what, 10% of that. But look at this. This is what I want to show you. This is before I took the relic. The relic was only at rank 2. See that red number? That's from the relic. Now, look at this. He's got 4 buffs, but Cosmic has a lot of champions like this. This is just further proof, further evidence, further reason why I talk about how great America Chavez is. On top of all the things, I have a lengthy playlist. You should go watch it. In every single video, I talk about how to actually play her. But that first hit of the heavy is getting you almost double. It's almost doubling what the initial hit of the heavy is doing when the defender has this many buffs. It's a really beautiful thing. It's part of why fights against Hulk can go so fast. Now, we're going into Realm of Legends. Juggernaut here, and this was one of the nice things, right? He was willing to throw his heavy right away, which is great. Breaks the shield, gets that trauma debuff up. So that's why you're going to see, especially when we land our heavies, which I should do, right? I don't know why I didn't there, but I didn't. We're going to get those nice extra numbers. You can see it on the combos too, but the heavies get the additional benefit. It's really just kind of how you want to play it, right? Once you get the slow up from the SP1, the other thing I wanted to show you, he's got a refreshable slow that you're incentivized to do anyway because you're wanting to land your heavies. And then we're going into this SP2, which gets the damage for the personal debuffs on, right? So let's go ahead, go into this. We got the trauma up, we got the stun, didn't even crit. Then we're landing these massive, massive heavies. That's the thing, he's not done. It's not a cash out. I mean, it's a nice damage boost with the SP2, but the heavies are continuing to do it because you got the trauma up, you've got the slow up, you're just hitting like a truck. And I wanted to show you really quickly what that looks like when it crits. This is not recoil, this is not boosted, there's no synergies. This is just Red Guardian, rank 5, ascended. It feels so good to finally have him at his peak here. So let's go and watch this. Watch how much damage this is just closing here. Realm of Legends Storm. Okay. That's basically 30,000, 30,000, so that's basically 60,000. Second hit is like 70 and 70, it's like 140,000. And then we're gonna go in and finish this off with some heavies that we're hitting for about 50,000 per heavy, and they're stunned, and you just keep going, and it's delicious and delightful. So there it was. There's my newest rank 3, there's my 2 newest rank 5, 6 stars, an Ascension, and my newest rank 3 relic. I love them all. I think there's phenomenal reasons to rank them up. Some of the best champions in the game and definitely some of my favorites. Let me know who you ranked up with your 8.4 rewards. I enjoyed reading who folks ranked up, had at rank 3. And then as we're heading in to spring cleaning. Let me know if you're going to consider some of these champions. Because I think there's going to be some rank up resources coming our way. Thank you so much for watching. Take care.